Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of Total Drama Multiverse Season 2. So, today will be our last normal game show episode before we get to our lore episode on Friday. I'm recording this at 3:50. It's supposed to premiere at 3, so sorry about that. I was more busy than I thought I was going to be today, but I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. This will probably come out at between 6 and 8. So, yeah, let's just get into it with our pre-challenge section. And this is going to be a bit of a short one, mainly because we need to get to our challenge and post-elimination ceremony stuff. But I think the only major thing we really need to mention, and it's two things. There's two major things we need to mention in our pre-challenge section. One is on the new newts, and that is that Ezekiel is pissed at Daisy for getting Tristan out. Ezekiel knew that Daisy was going to use the immunity idol, and thought she was just going to use it on Guinevere or 2D or maybe Ash, but she took out one of his best friends on the island, and yeah, he's pissed at her for that. But Mel's not really as mad, and Daisy's just kind of brushing it off and saying he'll get over it. So then on the revamped rhinos, if y'all can notice, Sky is gone. So, yeah, that will come in later, but everyone's just kind of confused on where she is. So, yeah, let's just get into our challenge section. So our challenge section is a pretty big challenge today. This is another original one, but this one is not. This isn't a Scary Girl episode. But yeah, let's just get into it because it's going to take forever. This is Challenge 33, the popularity poll. So every contestant ranks their teammates from most to least likable. They think it's anonymous until the rankings are revealed publicly. The higher the placement, the higher the average ranking. Actually, it's the lower the average ranking. I did the math wrong, so I made it to where the lower number you have, the better. But yeah, I should say that on the slide for y'all. After that, they must work together to complete a relay-style obstacle course, with the least popular contestant getting the hardest part, the most popular contestant getting the easiest part. Because, that's exactly how it should be. Beating the obby first grants immunity to the whole team, but the most and least popular contestants get immunity for free no matter what happens. So let's say the new Newts lose, and Daisy's the least popular contestant on their team, because she is. She gets immunity for free. But let's say 2D's the most popular person on her team, or on their team, then 2D also gets immunity. So if that were the case, then those two would get immunity for free, and would not be able to be voted out. So you can also see sitting out is Sky. Chris says that it's due to some personal drama that he doesn't really know all about, but he knows there's some sort of drama going on. It's a little more than drama, though, if y'all have been keeping up with the series. But as far as he knows, there was just a note left on in front of his suite that said, not going to be able to make it today, from Sky. So, yeah, she's just not going to be here. But it's probably a good thing anyway, because she would easily be the most popular contestant on her team from probably almost everyone. So, yeah. Let's get into our rankings. So, for Daisy's rankings, you also don't include yourself, by the way. You don't rank yourself. Daisy ranks Ezekiel, Mel, Ash, then 2D, and then Guinevere. I don't think there's anything surprising here. She obviously still is on Team Ezekiel. I think maybe she would go Mel over Ezekiel, but I think this is still fine. And then she hates Ash the least out of the three, then 2D, and then obviously she hates Guinevere. So nothing unexpected there. I'm going to try to breeze through these. Then we have Mel's ranking. And Mel went for Ezekiel, then Daisy, then Guinevere, then 2D, and then Ash. I think she would think Guinevere's cool and isn't really in that whole drama between Daisy and Guinevere. And she just doesn't really have a relationship with Ash or 2D, but she finds 2D a little funnier and nicer. So, yeah, then we have Ezekiel's ranking. So Ezekiel ranks Mel, 2D, Ash, Guinevere, Daisy. And it's the same with those three. The 2D Ash Guinevere as Mel, except Guinevere is behind because he doesn't like Guinevere because of Daisy. But he also has Daisy back there because he's pissed at Daisy. So, yeah, he hasn't gotten over it yet. So Daisy's all the way back in 5th for his ranking. You'll see the averages at the end, by the way. This is just like to give a feel for how everyone is feeling. So then we have Guinevere's ranking, and Guinevere ranked 2D in first because of that whole pact to get out Daisy. Then Ash as well for being friends with 2D. Then Mel, then Ezekiel, and then Daisy because Mel it's the same. It's the opposite of Daisy. She dislikes Mel the least of the three, then Ezekiel because Ezekiel is closer to Daisy, than Daisy because it's Daisy. Yeah, it's definitely kind of an even split right here. But then we have 2D's rankings, and 2D ranked Guinevere, Ezekiel. Oh wait, I'm stupid. I forgot about Ash. Ash, Guinevere, Ezekiel, Mel, Daisy. I think he would like Ezekiel more than Mel. And I also think that he'd put his best friend over Guinevere, even though he's really good friends with Guinevere as well. And obviously Daisy's in the back. So you can see Daisy's not getting a lot of these. Let's go over to Ash's ranking now, where it's the same exact thing, just swapping Ash and 2D around. So, yeah, Daisy stays in 5th. So, that's it for the new Nukes' rankings. I think that y'all can already tell Daisy kind of got freaking dragged through the mud on that, which, you know, she deserves. So let me put everyone back in their normal areas for a second. And now we'll move on to the revamped rhinos. In the revamped rhinos, we first have Jin Woo's ranking, where he actually mishears it. He thinks more about who's the most reliable. So he first goes Bruce, then Six, then Alice, then Patrice, and then Lena being unreliable. Like Patrice is just a normal human, so she's not very reliable. But Lena's unreliable because of the person inside of her. This obviously makes Lena feel like shit, and Patrice kind of annoyed at Jin Woo whenever this is revealed. Then we have Bruce's, which is Jin Woo, their buddies. Also, obviously, since she's sitting out, you can't vote for Sky. She's not even here. So, Jin Woo, then Lena, then Patrice, because he's more interested in Lena. Then Six and Alice. Alice is just kind of an ass, and Six is cool, but they don't really interact too much. Then we have Lena, and Lena's ranking is, there's so many just characters here, y'all just gotta bear with me. We're almost done. Lena's ranking is first Patrice, then Bruce, then Jin Woo, then Alice, and then Six. She liked Jin Woo more than Jin Woo thought she was reliable, so that's why she got more hurt, is that she thought Jin Woo was cool, and misunderstood, or he misunderstood what it meant on who he liked more, but I still don't even think he'd like Lena that much anyway. And then obviously Alice and Six are still below, because Alice is an asshole, and Six freaking, y'all know what happened to freaking Lena from Six. Six killed Lena in a very brutal way, so she's very scared of Six. But then we have 3 more. We have Patrice's ranking, and Patrice has Lena, Bruce, Jin Woo, Six, Alice, so just flipping a few things there. She wasn't killed by Six, so she's not like as afraid of Six. And then obviously she is the one who's voting, so she can't vote for herself, so she votes for Lena in first. Then we have Alice's ranking, and Alice, this is where we switch up a lot more. Alice has Bruce, I think she would think is cool right now. Jin Woo, who, yeah, she'd probably just be more interested in these two than the other girls. Then Patrice, then Lena. and then 6 is all the way in the back. You would think they're like friends right now, but remember the miscommunication from last episode, making Alice think that 6 doesn't like her, and yeah, she puts her all the way in the back. But then for 6 actually puts her in first. So yeah, that kind of makes Alice a little confused. And Lena, I think 6, if 6 was given a normal childhood, would probably be similar to Lena, maybe a little ruder. But yeah. Then Jinwoo, I think she'd just think Jinwoo is cute or something. Obviously that doesn't go anywhere. She's 6 years old or something like that. I don't know if she's 6 years old, but she's really young. That's not why her name is 6, by the way. Then Bruce, and then Patrice, just because I don't think she'd care about those two as much. Maybe Patrice a little bit. I mean, maybe Bruce a little bit. But yeah, then we have our average rankings. So let's talk about it. First, we have everyone in the middle who we don't need to talk about. Mel, Ash, Guinevere, Jinwoo, Lena, and Patrice. All of these people are just kind of in the middle. They don't get any sort of immunity. But remember, the higher the number, the worse you are. So like Alice is the lowest. She got 3.6 out of 5. If you got 5, that means everyone put you in 5th place. So Alice does get a free immunity here. Same with Daisy. She got a 4.4 out of 5 because everyone put her in 5th except for Mel, who put her in like 2nd after Ezekiel. Everyone else put her in 5th. So yeah. And then as for our people who are winning because they're liked, we have Bruce, who got an average of 2, which is crazy, by the way. He got an average of 2. And then Ezekiel and Sudi both tied for 2.4. So they're actually going to be both given immunity. So, yeah, no matter what happens for the rest of this challenge, Ezekiel, Sudi, and Daisy, and also Bruce and Alice, those 5 characters will not be voted out today. So, yeah, let's talk about the actual challenge now, the obstacle course. Now, this one isn't anything crazy. It's just like a relay obstacle course, so it's like each person has to do different obstacles that aren't anything insane. They're just like, oh, dodging traps here, do some parkour there, nothing insane. And then for the first few people, like, for example, Bruce was the most popular on his team, so he gets a really easy one. But like Daisy was the least popular on her team, so she gets an extremely hard one. So they're all like 20% harder, because Bruce basically has a free one, and then 20% harder than that, 40%, 60%, 80%, and then 100% the hardest difficulty. So yeah, let's thinking back on our rankings. I think that Ezekiel is kind of a dumbass, but he got the easiest one, so I think it wouldn't take too long for him. Same with Tootie. He's also a dumbass. So I think both of them might take a little longer than Bruce and Jinwoo, who are very smart and get easy ones. I think Lena would be able to complete her middle of the road one kind of easily as well. There's nothing that's able to like kill you here, by the way, because they still don't have the 1-up mushrooms. Then there's Patrice and Ash. I think that Patrice is on hers whenever like Mel gets to hers. So I think that Mel is able to pull through pretty quickly, and then it comes to Ash because I think she'd be just able to run through because there's nothing that can kill but still stuff that hurts, and I think she'd be able to withstand all that, and she'd probably be good at this kind of thing. Patrice would also be good at this, so better than Ash, so it gets us to Alice, and then Alice is done, or not, Alice is not done, Ash is done, and we get Guinevere. I think would just destroy her whole area, going full, like, demon mode. It's not actually a demon, but whatever that thing is. We haven't seen it yet in the show. But she goes crazy. and just destroys the whole thing. And technically that counts. And then she hands it off to Daisy, who calls her ugly or something before taking it. And I think it'd actually be really close between Daisy and Alice. But I think that I'm probably going to give it, due to Daisy just being built different and also using her Vanny mask, allowing her to walk through some of the obstacles. She does use her Vanny mask in this, and this is the first time where she sees the mexes inside the Vanny mask, but she takes it off before it can get to her. She decides to lock in with the mask, and she wins, which means that the new Newts have immunity for this challenge. So a lot of yapping there. But yeah, we'll go on to our post-challenge section. So in our post-challenge section, everyone is still kind of sinking in on what happened with that challenge and where all the rankings were. And I think everyone's pretty much okay with their rankings, except for Lena, who really feels like shit after what happened with Jin Woo. I also think that, actually, I think everyone else. Oh yeah, I think that everyone would be fine with their rankings, but I think Batman Bruce and Jin Woo are starting to get really worried about Sky because she is just not showing up, and that's when Chris comes up to them. Actually, we'll get to that. So I think Alice and Sky are plotting. No, not Alice and Sky. Alice and Six are plotting to get out either Bruce or Jin Woo because they need to right now. And you might be thinking, oh well, doesn't Alice hate Six? Well, after seeing the ranking, it took a while, but she was able to wait for Six to be able to finally communicate to her that they're still good, and it was just a misunderstanding. So, yeah, they're back on good terms. But they're like, this is their one chance to not be on the bottom anymore because Chris comes up to them and is like, hey, guys, Sky isn't going to be able to make it due to some stuff that's going on. So she's just not going to have a vote tonight, and you can't vote for her tonight. So they're like, okay, we have to lock in and be able to do something about this. So what they do is that they manipulate Lena a lot. And they manipulate Lena, and they manipulate Patrice into thinking that Jin Woo this whole time has been being an asshole to both of them behind their back, and also they're able to convince them, since they're the 4 of the 5 girls on the team, they're able to convince him that Jin Woo was thinking how dumb it is on how there's only 5 girls, or there's only 5 guys in the game, compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 girls left, including Sky, by the way. Because if you look at your screen, there's not 7 girls. And they're able to convince him that he thinks that's why their team isn't as good, is because there's 4 girls and 2 guys. And basically, they're able to convince Patrice and Lena that Jin Woo is sexist. And that he's been making sexist comments towards Patrice and Jin Woo. I mean, Patrice and Lena. Yeah, he's been making sexist comments towards himself. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then before we go to elimination, nothing's really going on the new Newts, except for the fact that Mel is trying to get Ezekiel to get over it so that they don't get destroyed by Guinevere, Sudi, and Ash. But he's still genuinely hurting, and Mel can recognize that. But yeah, let's get to the elimination ceremony. So in the elimination ceremony, oh wait, why am I bringing these guys up? Oh, whoa, boop, there we go. In the elimination ceremony, after being convinced, Patrice, Lena, Alice, and Six all vote Jin Woo, while Bruce and Jin Woo vote Six. Remember, Bruce and Alice don't have the ability to be voted for because they were the most popular and least popular, or else Bruce and Jin Woo would have voted for Alice because they like Patrice and Lena more, so they want to keep them around, and they mainly for Bruce to help Lena. Did I say Patrice and Alice? I meant Patrice. Okay, let me just reset. My brain is going a million miles a minute right now. Okay, so Bruce and Jinwoo would have wanted to vote Alice, but they can't. So they vote 6. The reason they don't go Lena or Patrice is because they like them enough, and um, they Bruce wants to help Lena with her problems that are going on with Magica. Okay, and then Alice and 6 were able to convince Lena and Patrice to go to Jinwoo, to vote to Jinwoo, and by making him think that he's an asshole and a sexist, and basically making him think that he's season 1 Ezekiel. So yeah, in a 4-2 vote, Jinwoo is eliminated here. Now, before we get into our little post-credit scenes and outro, I want to quickly talk about. I made this story, these like next 5 episodes of story. Okay, I've already made them. I know who's getting eliminated. I know what's happening. Basically, until the merge. Okay. Um, I didn't realize in these first few episodes, because I had the last few mapped out as well. I had a lot of them mapped out while I wasn't able to make any episodes, ironically. So, um, it's kind of bad how many girls are left compared to guys. There is left in the game right now 2D. I don't know why I have him here. Oh yeah, we can talk about Jinwoo wanting to come back. He actually does want to be compete in the comebacks. But we have 2D, Ezekiel, Bruce, and Ash. That is 4 guys to 7 girls. So yeah, no, there is not like a good gender balance. There is 1 guy left on the entirety of the revamped Rhinos, and there is 3 guys on the new nudes. So okay, it's 50-50 on the new nudes. That's fine. But on the revamped Rhinos, it is 5 girls to 1 guy. Obviously, I'm including Sky, even though she's not right here. So yeah, I might need to change some things with my next few episodes. We'll see. I'm not confirming or denying anything, obviously. No spoilers. But I guess I just wasn't really thinking about that. And the final 2 of last season were girls. I guess girls are just easier to write with. Or, well, not even write. I'm not writing these. I'm just making up the stories in my head. It's easier to make up stories of girls than guys for me, which is not what you would expect. But whatever. That's pretty much going to do it for this episode, although I feel like all of y'all know it actually isn't, because after the outro there's always like 2 or 3 scenes now, but whatever. That's going to quote-unquote do it for this episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. Leave some challenge suggestions, please. I would like to have some challenge suggestions, even though I won't use them in the next episode, because it's a lore one. After that, that'd be nice. I'm yapping way too much. But yeah, until next time, see ya. Puss sat in the cave surrounded by his collection of one-up mushrooms. He was terrified. Every night since he refused Malik's offer to kill Chris for infinite lives, he's had nightmares. Even though he has access to the infinite lives right here, Malik still wants him to take his deal. I mean, obviously Malik's desperate, but he can still torment Puss even from the doomed dimension. Puss has been chased by murder monkeys. He's been chased by giant nurses with big syringes the size of swords. He's been chased by animatronics, not Five Nights at Freddy's. He's been chased by weird clown things. He's been chased by just about everything you could imagine. But it's all in a pressure to take Malik's deal. Eventually, though, tonight happens, and tonight the voices stop, and the nightmares stop. He doesn't have a nightmare tonight, and he's very, very happy about that. Little did he know, it's because Malik's busy making a new deal, a deal with Daisy. As you know already, the night before this episode, Sky rifted away to go talk to Grimm to see what all this danger was about. After she rifted into his cell, Grimm told her to get her family, and she did. She got her mom, her dad, and her uncle, and they're all like, "What is this about?" And she's like, apparently you need to hear this guy out. He was able to get one of your watches, so clearly he's smart enough to know what he's doing. And Jones is like, how did you get my watch? And Grimm is like, you dropped it on the ground right in front of my cell. You need to take better care of these things. And Jones is like, whatever. So he explains to the four of them how the Vanny mask works. The Vanny mask was built by a person named William Afton. If y'all recognize that name, it's because he's Springtrap. He's one of the villains on the villain team right now. And he built this. This is not canon FNAF lore, by the way. This is lore for this. He built this to do two things. One, he built this so that his, at the time, servant that he had under his control, he doesn't anymore, named Vanny, would do whatever he said, and this can slowly manipulate your mind. And the Mex's entity, that purple entity, if it touches you in the AR world, it will take control of your body, and it will become like you'll be stuck wearing the Vanny mask, and it will become your body, and it will basically be, your body will be under its control, which in turn means under William's control, right? Because that thing is basically like its master is William. So yeah, but also it can do like cool things like go through walls and stuff, so that you're prompted to want to wear it instead of being forced to wear it. That's how he got his servant to wear it for so long until Mexes made her his servant. He also explains that you can see through it. He also explains that William was actually in the corn maze. He was stuck in a labyrinth of hells, multiple hells, where he would just go from animatronic hell to animatronic hell, and he was in Grim Foxy's corn maze, that layer of hell, whenever a huge rift came in and picked him up, and that rift had Zomboss in it. And after putting all those dots together, he was like, oh, okay, so that means William can see through Daisy, who is one of the contestants, because Grim and Sky just talked, and Grim and Chris talked and all that, and they talked about all the crazy stuff. Yeah, mainly Grim and Chris talked about all the crazy stuff that happened last season. So, yeah, that's basically all that happened there. But he learned about the head scientist. He put all the pieces together, and now he's saying that they are making a team, and they are able to see through Daisy what's going on. So, yeah, that's basically it for here. Everyone is like full emergency panic mode until suddenly there's a huge explosion on the other side of the island. Like you know how there's two, I explained this last time, there's two different sides, and in between, squished in between them is their base, two different islands, and squished in between them is their base and all the 0-point shards they have. That's basically what's going on here, is that they're on the left side by like all the cages and stuff where Grim is, and on the right side is where all the villains break in. And yeah, say hello to all of them. They all break in and just start messing up shit while Zomboss makes his way to the control room. Jinwoo is eliminated, and after that, he's expected to be taken to the same area that Jack, Captain Underpants, and Tristan are waiting for the comebacks. But instead, Chris asks him to follow him somewhere else, and that somewhere else is to his penthouse. And I always say penthouse suite, you know, all of it's the same thing. You know what I'm talking about. But he takes him there, and he grabs his rift gun, and he's like, all right, y'all ready? And Jin was like, who are you talking to? And Lauren and Chef come out fully geared up and locked in, ready. And Chris is like, all right, it's go time. And Jin was like, wait, what's happening? And he's like, there's not enough time to explain. And he presses the rift button. It sends them all to Reality Zero. They look around to try to find the 5 people they're looking for, Grim, Sky, Hope, Jones, and Peely. But all they find is mass destruction, and the villains, they're all hiding, by the way, so nobody sees them. But all the villains are just wreaking havoc, and yeah, they're just cooking everything. Then suddenly, they're all rifted again, And where they're rifted is to a secret underground like bunker that's like really, really deep, right between where like the base is and where the bottom island is that they're sandwiched between. So they're like deep in that area. And that is where they find everyone else, and they're all hiding out. Well, I say all of them, but it's actually everyone except Jones. Jones was captured, and last they saw of him, they saw his arm getting cut off. So, as far as they know, he might be dead. So, Sky and Hope are both comforting each other while Peely explains the situation, and Grim sits in the corner just waiting for when they need to fight. So, yeah, that's gonna do it until Friday. Cannot wait to catch y'all in the lore episode. See ya.